Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park for our doubleheader weekend here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1:45 for qualifying, where Parrish, you'll be our first driver to qualify. Thank you guys for coming and hang out with us today at Raceway Park. Maloney Bird, our doubleheader out there, and here for the Gambler. We will get qualifying started at 1:45. 1:45. I repeat, 1. shows to the performance of that tire as Alan Bosses is navigating that carbon fiber 350Z almost effortlessly through our road course here at Raceway Park. Alan Boss has had a long weekend, getting plenty of seat time, a little outside of that hairpin there, but he's going to lock it in with an 88 for his first qualifying lap here. He'll get back up in the line. He'll get another chance to try to get a better score as we get our next driver up on the line. And we're going to have Tyler Hess driving that Snapchat filter S14 with a VQ under the hood, warming up his tires right now, getting locked up into the grid. Oh, I'm sorry, Trevor Root. My bad. My eyes are bad.
You're just so excited. You're ready to get on to the next driver, Mike.
Speed reading these guys off here.
We were. They were like testing us up here in the tower or something. I don't know.
Oh, we got Root. Root's also just winning his.
So correct me if I'm wrong here. I think Trevor Root's been always a bridesmaid, never a bride. I don't think he's ever stood atop the #1 spot on the podium yet. So maybe today is his day. And here he goes.
I know Root just had some good weekends over in Tennessee, out in Bristol, and Root showcasing he's super comfortable out there. Clicking in outside zone #1, looking nice and comfortable, rotates into outside zone 2, clicks out of that box and works his way down into outside 3, where he's got to rotate that BMW's nose past that front inner clip. Does a nice job, nice and fluid, out into outside zone #4, nice committed throttle, rolling into the throttle as he rotates that car into our hairpin here at Raceway Park. Trevor Root in that E36, he flicks back up to the wall, not afraid to lick a taillight off here and makes some noise for Trevor Root, clicking off another qualifying lap here at our doubleheader weekend at Raceway Park. Root doing a great job here. Definitely a lot of throttle control, very comfortable in that chassis as he rotates around here the road course. That LSA supercharged LS powered E36, getting it done with a 97. A 97 for Trevor Root, pulling it out our new #1 qualifier here, our doubleheader weekend at the Gambler. It's going to be hard to top that one, leaving only 3 points on the board.
Up next, now we have Tyler Hess piloting that S14 with a VQ in it. Luckily, I do believe he might have a muffler sparing our ears for this run.
I really hope so, because it gets super loud as they come crazing through this hairpin right past the bleachers. And you can see that Snapchat filter S14. He's got Honda Accord headlights in this VQ-powered S14. And Hess doing a great job navigating through the road course here. Clicks into outside zone #2, works his way down the hill to outside 3. That S14, a little bit of a waver as he gets set up for that inner clip, a little reposition, he gets back into that line, gets right back on the throttle. That VQ singing nice and happy, going through outside zone #4, looking nice and peaceful going into the hairpin here. Outside zone 5, oh no, and an error, a big error. It looks like,
that's definitely something broken.
Wild mechanical sounds coming out of that Honda Accord S14 VQ 50Z.
That's a sad one. He was doing great on that run. Hopefully his team can maybe get it buttoned up in time to make a second run. Good luck to them.
Yeah, you can definitely see here on the replay, he was doing exactly what was necessary, getting that VQ-powered S14 around the road course here. He looked into outside 4, nice, calm, and collective, even setting up the pitch, and unfortunately, maybe a little bit of a waver trying to keep it off the grass and on the pavement may have caused a mechanical failure, or it was just that time to go. Sometimes that's racing, and unfortunately, that'll bring us up to our next driver, Chris Knapp, piloting that 1J-powered IS300. 2J powered, my fault. There's 2 J's in there. As he works his way into outside zone #1, Chris Knapp trying to click into that box, a little bit of correction, getting the car where he wants to go. Now he's on the car nice and smooth and fluid into outside zone #2, working his way down the hill. Number 3.
I'll tell you from here, Mike died out. Coming across that center section, woo, big flick. Oh, outer zone 4 claims another victim. That is a tough one. He's gonna finish it out coming to the hairpin, but unfortunately, I believe that is gonna be a 0 for Chris Knapp.
Oh boy,
that was just
weird.
For the fans. That was just for the fans.
Chris Knapp burning off those Valino tires. You can see how much they're stuck down that IS300, making a mistake going in past that front inner clip. shutting the car off. You can see on the replay, he's nice and comfortable, doing a great job past that inner clip. Goes to flick it back in, and just maybe a little too much sauce going in. Maybe the car bogged off on him. He takes it off the ground. He'll get another lap to put some points up, though. Definitely not done for the weekend, and we got a whole other event as we jump into our next driver.
Next up is Mike Knapp, the bigger of the Knapps, the older Knapp. Here he goes on the entry, entering at that third cone, nice and early, coming in super wide of that first outer zone, looking smooth. Great job by Mike Knapp as he transitions into that second outer zone. Not sure, took a little pause there for a second, coming into outer zone number 3. As he transitions across to the only inner clip on the track, coming around to that moment of truth. Outer zone number 4 goes a little bit wide, so he might lose some points there. He's slowing it down, coming to the hairpin, making sure he's getting around nice and smooth. Great job in the hairpin by Mike Knapp. Coming across the reference point, and the last and final outer zone, the bank turn, woo, nice and high. Great job by Mike Knapp. That'll at least be some points on the board. We can stop putting up zeros now.
All right, it looks like our replay is still stuck on Chris Knapp's little hiccup here. Definitely costing him the lap, making him dwell on it if he's tuning in live from the car out on grid. We got our drivers standing out in a hot pit, hanging out with each other, waiting for their qualifying laps here. We're going to have our judges go over Mike Knapp's last lap. Mike doing a good job navigating through the course here at Raceway Park. These guys have a long weekend ahead of them with a whole nother competition day tomorrow for this doubleheader weekend at the Gambler at Raceway Park. Mike Knapp's going to get a 76. Mike Knapp with a 76 for his qualifying pass. Just hold tight. We'll get those scores updated for you guys, and I'll announce them as they come to my desk. I got a whole desk now, window seat, high up in the tower. Thank you guys for joining us here at Raceway Park and online at home. We're going to have our next driver, Max, with that BMW. That's a good boat. Here we go. Max taking that BMW, going down into outside zone number 1. Needs to click well before cranked in. Nice and comfortable, getting right back on the throttle, putting it into the box here into outside zone number 1. I'm telling you, man, that thing just sails real smooth as he rotates into outside zone number 2, going to navigate down the hill. Locked and loaded. A little bit of a throttle there as he works his way in to get set up for that front inner clip. And a big flick. A little too much sauce there. Maybe getting a little too comfortable setting up on the hill, but definitely was looking great up until he wasn't.
Gosh, that's just the way now today. Everyone's got to take a deep breath on the line there, drivers, all right? We don't want to see any more zeros today. And up on the line, we have Chris Stevens in his LS-powered S13 coupe. Maybe he can put down a nice, clean, crispy run, get some points on the board.
The good news is that every qualifying driver here does have another lap to put some points on the board or even better their run prior. They will have to get back into the line, and they'll get set back up after we run through our gridded drivers, with Chris Stevens now sitting on the grid waiting to take his qualifying lap. He's going to showcase what he's got in the judges' eyes. Looking to get a better score than our current leader, Trevor Root, with a 97. A 97 out of Trevor Root. This guy has had a couple good weekends for the last couple. He's had a good month, I think. It's been a good month for Root. Trevor Tree, sorry, he's a grown-up now. All right, we got Chris Stevens blowing out of the box here, blasting out of the chicane. Initiates well before our last initiation point, getting nice and wide, going into outside zone number 1, even out of the grass, and does a great job of getting the car up the hill. You see Chris Stevens, S13, freshly waxed, good, going into outside zone number 2, rotates back down the hill, got to keep it into the outside zone number 3, doing a great job, a ton of throttle commitment out of that S13, going into that inside clip, back out to outside 4, standing in it. Little rotation up into outside 5. Judges tower right over that reference point, up into the bank wall, nice and tight. A little trunk open actioning and across the finish line out of Chris Stevens. For you guys joining us at home watching that drone footage, there is a small box right below after the hairpin, right before the bank. That is a reference point for our drivers and judges to make sure our drivers are putting on a chaseable lead. There's no point. We didn't put another zone there, just a reference point, because each chassis and driver has a slightly different style or a way of manipulating the vehicle through that point. Giving the driver a little bit of choice of style allows the drivers to set themselves up for the bank in the most safe and fast way mannerism set for their machine and car. And our hero of the afternoon, Steve Misko, taking his first qualifying run. Blew a dip on his first lap in practice. like you all said he couldn't have his. So, but Steve Misko doing a great job as he works his way through his first qualifying lap here. Clicks into outside 3, rotates up to that first inner clip, keeps his composure and the diff in the car, makes it into outside 4, nice and smooth. Looks like he's being nice to this one as he rotates into that hairpin. A little bit of a lag trying to pavement. Of that S14 of Steve Misko as he goes over that reference box and up to the bank. A little lackluster up at the flick, but nice and safe in the box, in the zone, and across the finish line from Steve Misko. All right. We're going to catch you guys up on some scores. Steve Misko just going right now in that red S14 with an 85. Chris Stevens tying Trevor Root with a 97. I repeat, Chris Stevens tying Trevor Root with a 97.
This is going to be a close one as we go into the second half of qualifying, which is starting right now with your boy Jake Pepperoni Parrish. Here we go. Let's see if he can clean up that hairpin for a higher score to better his 71.
Jake doing a great job getting out to the wide line there. Outside 1, just barely running over the edge of the pavement. He does a great job in outside 2. Rotates down that SR20 now with full boost, doing a lot better, less clutch kicks as he works his way through outside zone number 3, taking out both of those cones. Rotates that hash across the front inner clip and down into outside zone number 4. Doing a great job getting nice and out and wide and early for outside 4. As you can see that SR screaming, a little throttle manipulation into the hairpin, keeping out of the grass. You hear the blow-up valve juicing through as Jake Pepperoni Parrish doing a great job keeping that student driver off of the bank wall. And Jake Pepperoni Parrish, the way sausage should be, across the finish line. Not bad for his virgin competitive drifting event.
He's not a virgin anymore.
Not anymore. He left those cherries out there on the bank wall.
Very first comp.
Our next driver sitting on the line, Foley, piloting that truck motor. That 5.3 Brethren, that E36, that orange BMW sitting on the grid waiting for the lights to extinguish on our drag tree. The green's down, that means Foley can go. And that BMW E36 layering down the road course here. You need to initiate before that last initiated cone, and he initiates well before the first as he works his way into outside zone number 1. Foley, powered BMW working his way into number 1 on the other zone.
Nice job coming down the hill into outer zone number 3, filling that zone completely. Great job by Tyler Foley as he crosses across that inner clip, again, right where he needs to be, positioning his car. Nice job filling outer zone number 4. That one's a doozy, guys. Coming into the hairpin, slowing it down a little bit, but tire right at the edge. That is what we want to see. Great job as he comes across that reference point and up into the bank, all the way up. Heck yeah. Great job by Tyler Foley.
Foley definitely showcasing that he's very comfortable out there, looking like he's going to try to get a better score out of there. Jake, though, Jake got an 81 for Jake Pepperoni Parrish on his second qualifying lap, finding a few more points there, definitely cleaning up. Our next driver up on the line, I believe that's Jimmy Revert. And Foley with an improvement with a 92. Foley at a 92 for his second qualifying lap. Jimmy sitting with an 86 on his previous lap, looking to make some improvements here. Jimmy doing a great job in the style department with our judges. Needs to clean up his line and angle a little bit, so it looks like he just needs to take that confidence and just dial it in, which he's been doing all day throughout practice. That VA-powered S13 sitting back there on the line, looking good, and I believe it has a fresh wrap. If not, he keeps it clean, though. Revert coming down the straightaway here on the road course at Raceway Park. The Gambler clicks in well before that last initiation point. Looking nice and solid. He works his way out into outside zone number 1. Good job clicking through that box. Nice. Up. Works his his way to outside zone number 2, rolls down the hill. He's a click in outside 3, doing a great job there from Jimmy as he closes into that first inner clip, the only inner clip here of the road course. Going back to that outside zone number 4, nice and controlled into that zone. A good flick up into the hairpin, needs to keep it out of the grass. Standing on the throttle over that reference point, a good flick up into the bank here, needs to keep those taillights out of the wall. And that last and final zone, Jimmy doing a great job and across the finish line. A very solid second qualifying pass here from Jimmy Revert. You can see Jimmy doing a great job clicking into outside 3 there, where he rotates past that inner clip. That car looks super dialed on the pavement, looks super comfortable, and as he rotates through with a lot of throttle commitment. And it's definitely showcasing as he takes a 91, definitely finding a few more points on the board from Jimmy Revert, a 91 for Jimmy. All right, Alan Boss flicking in for a second qualifying lap with a big flick out of Alan Boss into outside zone number 1. Standing on it with that supercharged powered V8 underneath that and almost completely carbon fiber 350.
He's on a mission to better that 88, Mike. Great job coming down the hill into outer zone number 3. Coming across that inner clip, great job staying nice and close there. Moment of truth, here's outer zone number 4, and he's right on the edge there. Great job on line there for Alan Boss coming into the hairpin. Oh no. Oh no. Well, good news is he already has an 88, so he's got a great score on the board. Unfortunately, that is going to be a 0. Car shut off on him. That is unfortunate. That looks like it was going to be a heater, Mike.
Well, that is definitely the time to try things out, and that was the time to see if it worked, and it was great until it didn't. But fortunately, done for a second qualifying lap. But fortunately, it's away from any walls or any damage. The car looks mechanically fine. A little hit to the ego, but he has plenty of points to ride out the rest of today, and he has another competition tomorrow for our doubleheader weekend here at Raceway Park, the Gambler. Our next driver sitting on the line, planted, the tree hit man himself, Trevor Root, on fire lately. Already sitting with a 97, tied for first with Chris Stevens, if I'm not mistaken. Looking to find 3 more points out there. I really don't know where they are, but they're somewhere out there, and Trevor Root's on a mission to find them to better his score. We're just waiting for our drone pilot to get back up in the air, I think. Give us just a moment. The suspense is killing us.
Trevor Root and Chris Stevens are actually tied in the complete sense of the word. So they both got 97s, but they also both have a 35 as their style score. So the judges are going to need to break that tie unless one of these 2 boys can squeeze a couple more points out of there. That's going to be tough, though. A 97 is a great score.
But if my math serves me right, there's 3 more points out there.
You're not wrong, Mike.
I'm actually really looking forward to this guy going out here and doing what he does. As just as I say that, it gets underway as Trevor Root in the green line initiates into his outside zone number 1. Let's see if we can find those 3 points on the outside zone number 1. Trevor Root looking nice and fluid, filling that zone in its entirety, rotating up to outside 2, doing a good job, rotates and floats down the hill, puts back on the throttle, getting into outside zone number 3, clicks over past that first inside clip. Rotates back down outside 4, nice and wide, riding that outside line. This guy is so comfortable in this thing. Licking taillights off the walls at the beginning of the season. And a little bit nice, smooth operation out of that E36. Definitely a little deeper out of that hairpin. Keeps it out of the bank wall. And a showy second qualifying lap here out of Trevor Root. Standing on all the way down the finish line.
A little bit too much sauce in the hairpin, but other than that, great run.
Unfortunately, we're getting word that Hess is going to have to call his competition 5. That little mishap he had with his first qualifying run, definitely not putting any points on. He needs to make sure that the car gets back out for a qualifying lap. He's going to take his competition 5. That means we're going to move on to our next driver, and it looks like Chris Knapp sitting on the line.
We're real quick, one more score to announce. Trevor Root with a 90. Unfortunately, he did not better his 97. He's going to keep that 97. Still tied for first place qualifier between him and Chris Stevens.
Yeah, I don't think those extra 3 points were in the grass around the hairpin there as Chris Knapp works his way into outside zone number 1. Knapp's IS 300 looking nice and poised as he goes down into outside 2. Nice and wide, maybe getting super wide. Pulled off from outside 3 just a little bit there. As that IS looks nice and smooth, but a little off of the line there as he works away and fixes into outside 4. Chris Knapp needs to put some points down on the board to keep those Velinas going around the hairpin here. Out of the grass, right on the outside edge. A tail light hanging already. Go ahead and smack her off across the bank wall here at Raceway Park. Nice and solid finish out of Chris Knapp and his IS 300 coming across.
The taillight has left the chat.
You can see here on the replay at home on the live stream, thanks to YouTube and Facebook, Knapp just clicking on the outside of outside 3, but does a good job trying to clean it back up to that inner and back to outside 4. He realized his mistakes and only suffered through the most minimal amount of the zones as possible. We have a very long course here on the road course at Raceway. So there's definitely lots of opportunities to make mistakes, but also a lot of opportunities to fix those mistakes. You can see that become very prevalent in tandem battles. Our next driver up on the line, Mike Knapp, piloting that S13 SR powered, correct? No one's listening. I believe it's SR20 powered.
We have a score on the board for Chris Knapp. He's got some points on the board with an 89. An 89 for Chris Knapp. Great job.
I lied. It's a 1J in that car. That guy has so many cool things. And here we go, Mike Knapp taking his second qualifying lap here at Raceway Park. Getting chased down the straightaway here by the drone. He initiates well before that last initiation point, trying to get that S13 out to outside zone number 1. That 1J powered S13 hatch just on the outside box of outside 1. He rotates into outside 2, nice and deep in outside 2, getting really deep going into outside 3, but keeps it on the pavement somehow. Clicks in, right back in, and goes across that front inner clip and works his way back down to the outside 4. Knapp just on the outside line, working deeper and outside 4 progressively as he works his way through, going into the hairpin here. Knapp, you can hear that Jay-Z scream now as he goes through the hairpin. That exhaust screaming in our faces as he goes past that reference point and up to the bank wall here at Raceway Park. Keeps those taillights out of the wall and stands on it for a nice stretch out of Mike Knapp. All right, you guys at home on the live stream can see Mike Knapp in his S13, that Jay-Z powered Nissan working his way around Raceway Park. You can see him nice and high on the bank, and he'll get an 84 for that last lap. An 84 for Mike Knapp's second qualifying pass. And as I say that, Max is leaving the start line as Max in his BMW working his way into outside zone number 1. Clicks in well before that last initiation point, working his way up the hill here at Raceway Park. A little shy getting into outside 1, but works his way down nice and deep now. Comes out a little early, but works his way into outside 2. Got nice and deep into outside 2. Nice and posed into outside 3. Rotates that BMW past that inner clip. Sets himself up for outside 4. Needs to be nice and wide and drive up at 4, holding his momentum all the way through the hairpin. We're nice to see a nice confident flick, a rotation out of that BMW in and through the hairpin here. Getting into that box and holding it. Doing a great job as you can hear the exhaust blaring through the stands here at Raceway Park as he works back up to the bank wall and keeping the taillights out of the danger. Looking great while doing it. Max doing a great job for his second qualifying lap.
Nice job putting some points on the board. Hate to see drivers come away with a 0, so I think that's definitely a nice solid run. Should earn him some points as the judges are calculating the scores right now.
You can see Max BMW right on the edge there of the hairline of the hairpin, going over that reference point and back up to the bank wall. You can see him styling off this run very well with a 77. A 77 to boot, definitely not the highest score we've seen today with our next driver that's holding that tied position with a 97, Chris Stevens. Chris Stevens working his way into outside zone number 1. Curls up the hill, filling in outside 1 as best he could with that S13, slamming onto that rev limiter, was working in his outside 2 and floating down the hill as he works his way into outside 3. Chris Stevens and that 240SX coupe past that front clip, maybe just giving it a little boot, going into outside 4. Riding that line out, nice and throttle control, a little flick into the hairpin. Want to hear that rider stand on and pass the stage, put a show on for everybody here at Raceway Park. Over the reference point, back up to the bank where he's nice and comfortable. I've seen this man ride that all the time. And a little bit of action across the finish line from Chris Stevens on his second qualifying lap.
Hot dang, he's giving that rev limiter a workout. Give it a rest. Or don't.
We were having a quick chat with Stevens before the round this morning. Stevens looking and playing with wheel speed ideas, and you can definitely hear it as he's demanding almost everything out of that car as he can. He's got that thing pretty dialed with a minimal amount of practice laps earlier. He looks pretty dialed with another 96. One less point than his first run, but you got to give it to him. That's consistency. These guys have been thrown down all weekend, just today, but they're going to be thrown down all weekend as we got a double header. We have a whole nother competition round tonight and tomorrow. Our next driver on the line, Steve Misko. Aggressive flick. Getting into outside zone number 1. Misko starting to stand on that borrowed new to him differential that he replaced during practice, working his way into outside zone number 2, getting nice and deep in the 2. Big angle as he rotates down the hill, keeps his composure, just clicking in the outside 3 to that first inner clip.
Nice job as he comes into the doozy. Outer zone number 4. Fills that completely with his tire right on the line. This is a man on a mission. He changed that dip. He's like a new person now. Loses some points out there as he dips his tire, unfortunately, coming across that reference point. Let's see him put it nice and high in the wall. Great job by Steve Misko. Great job. I don't know, is that enough to better his 85? We will see. Stay tuned.
I think Misko is just ecstatic to have a working differential in that car after the morning that he had. Hunting down a differential, covers, parts, pieces, got that S14 back out and running, and he's doing a great job looking to better scores. So definitely nothing to be ashamed of as our next driver goes up to our line. And Steve Misko with a 94. A 94 from Steve Misko. All right, that's going to conclude our qualifying here for day 1 of our doubleheader weekend. We're going to get our drivers back into the pits. We'll get them set up. We'll get our brackets out, delivered to our drivers. For you guys joining us on the live stream at home on Facebook and YouTube, thank you for joining us here at Raceway Park. We got a long weekend of a ton of drifting action going on. This is a great time. Go grab a snack, stop by the grease truck, stop in the Sneaky Pete's, grab a drink special. And we'll see you guys in the bar as our drivers get ready for battle, and we'll jump right back into the action.
And the action is not over, Mike. We're going to do the top 32. It's actually going to be a top 16 at 3:30 today. You'll get to see these drivers tandem battle each other. You know, qualifying does mean a lot, but it's not everything. We'll see how they tandem later on. So go ahead and stop by Sneaky Pete's. Go ahead and grab yourself a cool drink, cool off, and get prepped for the competition. We'll see you then.
to the road course here at Raceway Park. And then on the other side, there's a stadium where Formula Drift shows up, and we have the other rounds of the Gambler. So thank you guys for joining us on the live stream. Sit back and enjoy the sights and sounds of Raceway Park, the motocross area. And you can see the road course over there. The drone makes this place look so crazy that prospectively you just don't get when you're here. This place is so big from bleachers on the backside of the road course that you just can't get it in this way. This is awesome. So sit back and enjoy, and we'll get back to the drifting action here momentarily.